stream. And if you're new to the channel, you, first of all, you got to go watch part 1 first, which is it under the live stream section, because that's where all my that's where all my recent videos are, is under the live section of this channel. So make sure you go to the live section and watch the video before this one, which I just did a couple of hours before this. So anyway, this is part 2. And in part 1, I laid the foundation for the new information that I'm about to show, okay? And it's all about why Elvis needs the 9, okay? And I left out a couple things in the last video, that way I can show it here, okay? And actually, I forgot one thing that I wanted to show in that one. I'm going to show it here. And then the part that I left out purposely, I'm going to show that, of course, in this video. And like I said, it's all about why Elvis needed the 9, and then the 9 with the crown is the whole reason for this. Because Elvis turned 90 years old today. This year. It's because it's the 9 with the crown, and the crown, the letter O, is the portal. It's the bridge to the other side, and also. I forgot what I was going to say now. But anyway, don't worry about that. But you'll understand once you watch the videos. And by the way, folks, I'm not into, like what the stars do and the sun. I don't really pay attention to that. I don't believe we live on a spinning ball hurling through an endless space. So I don't even want to get into that. But because I don't believe anything these scientists say. But as far as, because supposedly on June 11th, there's this thing called the strawberry moon, whatever the heck it is. You can look it up yourself. It's going to be on June 11th this year. So a lot of people, I think, it's interesting. A lot of people who've never said anything all these years, because I've been talking about this June 11th event for all these years, having to do with Washington State. And now everybody is coming on the bandwagon this year. Isn't that very, interesting timing there, people on YouTube, yeah. But anyway, so like I said, we're going to get to the new information. I was just waiting for more people to get into the chat. Now, listen, let me just show this particular info first. But just real quick before I start. So I have 2 predictions that on June 11th, there's going to be a spectacular event in Washington State. Okay. And what this event is going to be, I don't know, okay? But I've speculated throughout my videos, and you can watch my live streams, and somewhere I've said it. But every day I come on and tell people what I think. But so there's going to be this big event in Washington State, and it's going to be a horrific event. It's not going to be something good, okay? So I'm telling everyone, get out of Washington State before June 11th. And somehow this event connects to Elvis. You know why? Because Elvis is the real Antichrist. Okay? Now, what is this event? How is this even? Is it biblical? Absolutely. It's the beast out of the sea revelation. What you're going to see on June 11th is the biblical beast that John saw that rises out of the sea in the book of Revelation. And when that beast rises, okay, I'm not talking about a literal beast is going to rise. We're talking about his image, his name, or the number of his name, Elvis. Okay, somehow Elvis manifests out of this event, and according to the Bible, this beast that rises, one of its heads gets a head wound. And isn't it interesting that Trump is what I've been telling everyone, that Trump is going to get a head wound on August 4th, and Trump is the image of Elvis. Every time Trump compares himself to Elvis, so the beast that rises out of the sea, one of his heads gets a head wound. I mean, it says that it got a deadly head wound that was healed, and the world wondered after the beast. Okay? Do you see what I'm saying? That's why the August 4th event, which is Trump's head wound, he gets a deadly head wound and he survives his deadly head wound. Okay. So that's August 4th. Trump gets the head wound. But the June 11th event is the biblical beast out of the sea. Okay. And why is Trump involved? If Elvis is the Antichrist, who is Trump? Trump is the Antichrist in the flesh. Okay. What does that mean? What do you mean there's an Antichrist Elvis and an Antichrist Trump? Because when Jesus was walking the earth as God in the flesh, God was still in heaven. So you have God in the flesh, but God's still in heaven. That's exactly what's happening here. Elvis is playing God in heaven, and Trump is playing God in the flesh. Okay, and that's why he's going to be, crucified, and he's going to rise from the dead. So he gets his head wound on August 4th, and he rises from the dead. Okay, when I say that, I don't mean literally. It's some kind of insane, scenario they're going to come up with. But August 4th is when he is pronounced dead, and then he comes back. Okay, on August 4th. And Trump is playing the part of Jesus because Jesus resurrected. You understand? And Elvis is playing the part of God in heaven. That's what they're doing. They're mocking God. And what do you expect from a guy who died? Because, Elvis was known as the king. He dies on the throne, the toilet. Get it? He dies on the toilet, which they call a throne. And what was he doing when he died? He was reading a book called The Scientific Search for the Face of Jesus. Okay? How crazy is that? You see how they're connected? You're talking about the king. He's known as the king, dies on the throne, the toilet, and he's reading a book called The Scientific Search for the Face of Jesus. All right? Just like Martin Luther King died in Memphis, Tennessee, where Elvis lived and died. So the king had the king whacked. Get it? And then Martin Luther King is named after Seattle's King County. You see what I mean? It's all connected. And on the same year Elvis died, you had the horse called Seattle Slew that won the Triple Crown on June 11th. The same year Elvis died, there was a horse called Seattle Slew who won the Triple Crown on June 11th. The most prestigious thing a horse can do in horse racing, which is the sport of kings, they call it. And it wins the Triple Crown on June 11th. And his name is Seattle Slew. Slew means to violently kill. It's the past tense of the word slay. You see how perfect it's lining up? Okay? Now, so you know that Elvis died at the age of 42, and Washington is the 42nd state. And here's something I didn't mention in the last video. Like I said, if you didn't see the last video, you're not going to understand how important what I'm saying is. So everything was about why Elvis needs the 9 and the 9 with a crown. And that's why Elvis turned 90 this year, Hold on one second, folks. I got to put a piece of paper behind this thing. I got to turn my light on, too, in a minute. Give me a second here. Sorry about that. So, Washington State is the 42nd state. Elvis died at the age of 42, And George Washington's original birthday was on the 42nd day of the year, February 11th. So anyway. So Washington's the 42nd state. Elvis died at the age of 42. Now look at this. You remember I was telling you about how Elvis is born on the 8th day, and he needs the 9, right? And the 1-9 because he's born on 1-8. The 8th prime number is 19, okay? And he needs that 9. The 9th prime number is 23. I'll get to this. That's what this whole video is about. I'll get to in a moment. The connection to that, but. If you add that up, it's 17 and 42. Okay, and isn't that interesting? First of all, Seattle, Washington's initials, SW equals 42. Ohio's the 17th state, Washington's the 42nd state. See? And that's where Trump gets his head wound in Ohio. You think that's a coincidence? You have the 2 crowns, the letter, the letter O or 0 is a crown. And Washington, the W is a crown. So remember that. These 2 are crowns, the O and the W. But look, it's got 2 O's right there. It's got the high, like Hawaii, get it? And you know who was born in Hawaii, right? Obama. And that was Elvis's favorite vacation place. They abbreviate Hawaii, HI. And he's born on August 4th, Obama. And that's when Trump gets his head wound on August 4th. And Trump's born on 6/14. 6 times 14 equals 84. This video is not about that. I'm just throwing stuff out until I show you the real incredible information that I'm about to show, okay? And by the way, speaking of Hawaii, What was Elvis's favorite vacation place? Okay, look, I know you're seeing everything backwards. Just to let you guys know, I'm right-handed, but everything's backwards when I show it like this. See, it says Hawaii. Elvis, Hawaii, favorite vacation place. Okay, I know you're seeing everything backwards, but I'm actually right-handed. Now, why am I showing that? Because you know who the first king of Hawaii is? Because we're talking about Elvis, right? Elvis known as the king. When do they celebrate King Kamehameha Day in Hawaii?
In Hawaii, Kamehameha Day will be on Wednesday, June 11th, 2025.
Every year they do it on June 11th, King Kamehameha Day. He was the first king of Hawaii. See what I mean? Everything connects to Elvis, connects to this June 11th and also to 666 and to everything else I always talk about. Now look at this. So now speaking of the 42 connections, I just told you Washington's the 42nd state. Elvis died at the age of 42, right? Check this out. Remember I told you Elvis needs the 9. Please tell me what's the chance of this? If you add up all the numbers between 1 through 42, the first number you see is the 9, then the O is a crown, then the 3 is a crown. Do you see it? And he's 90 years old this year, and that's why, remember I told you about the crown? That's why you see this. See, it either can look like this. It's either the crown on top of the head, because this is also a portal, a face, whatever you want to say, a womb. It can be anything, but let's just imagine it's a head right now. So it's a crown, another crown, which is a head, and then you have, well, this is also a head and a crown also, but the 9, okay, 9, or you can see it like this, a crown on 90, because Elvis is 90 years old right now, okay? Do you understand? Like, what is the chance that Elvis dies at the age of 42, Washington's the 42nd state, and you have that in it? If you add up all the numbers between 1 and 42. And I'm telling everyone that Elvis needs the 9. Do you understand? I hope you guys understand what I'm showing. Now let's get to what this video is about. Okay? It's all about the, like I said, it's all about the 9, but what I'm going to talk about is this 92, 93 connection in this video. Because remember, everything has to do with the 9. Like the last video, I showed all the 9s, okay? And watch how this 9 connects. Notice what 9 has. The 9th prime is 9-2 or 9-3. Remember that. So it can be either 923 or 92-93, okay? And watch this. Watch how it all connects, folks. Just give me a second, okay? What are you guys saying? W's remind of the whirlpool. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And like a washing machine. Yeah, and the whirlpool emblem, right? They used to make, like, you know what I mean. Right? They made the washing machines and stuff like that, right? That company. And I remember that Trump went and visited Whirlpool, didn't he? He did a speech from there once in his first term. And he had said, I think he was saying that you're not going to see me anymore or something like that. But anyway, so let's get to what this video is about. So remember, the 9th, this is incredible. And by the way, if you're hearing voices, it's the apartment next door. They're not going to be happy with me today because this is their time to sit outside and enjoy the weather. But they can't stand hearing my voice. Yeah. But anyway, so let's get going. Okay, here we go, folks. Remember, we're talking about the 9 because the 9th. Remember, we're going to be talking about the 9th prime because everything's about the 9. The 9th prime is 23, so everything's about the 92, 93. Now watch what happens. You know Elvis, he died on 8/16. August 16th's backwards number is 517 because whatever date you pick. Unbelievable, these cars, man. Anyway, hold on, folks. Distracting me, all these cars. So Elvis Elvis's death date, its reverse date is 5/17. And you can tell that by how many days are left in the year. So it's 137 day, leaves 228 days, makes 365 days. That's how you figure it out. So Elvis died on 8/16, its backwards date is 5/17. Now watch this. How many days is in between 5/17 and 8/16? It just so happens it's 92 days, or you can see it as 3 months. So what I'm trying to tell you is pay attention to what I'm showing you with the 9/2 and the 3, or the 92/93, okay? So watch how it all connects, okay? Isn't it, oh, let me show you a photo of the, hold on. I got to show you a photo of the Revelation 12 sign connection. I don't know nothing about this. By the way, don't, I know it's in the book of Revelation, but like I said, I don't know anything about that other than what it says. Revelation 12 sign in the Bible. I just want to read it to you. Let me see if I can get a, hold on. That's too bad I didn't type it in. Give me a second. Just give me a second here. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I just want you guys to see that it's a biblical, thing here. What does it say? It says, now a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a garland of 12 stars. Then being with child, she cried, and in labor and in pain to give birth. Okay, I'm not going to get into it. You can read that. Okay, all about that. All I was trying to show, hold on one second. All I was saying that there's something to this 12 sign, and I'm going to show you how it connects, okay? How it all connects here to this 923, 9293 connection. Watch. Yeah, I'm showing that right now. That's why I'm showing that. Give me a second, folks. I'm trying to. So remember, we're talking about the ninth prime being, because everything's about Elvis has to do with the 9, because Elvis needs the 9. Anyway, the ninth prime is 23. In between Elvis's backwards reverse date of his death date is 5/17. There's 92 days or 3 months. 92 days or 3 months. So 923 again in there, okay? And then check this out. From Elvis's birthday to the date of the Revelation 12 sign, because that's what they're saying. Back in 2017, there was a Revelation 12 sign. Everybody was talking about it. You can ask Google. They'll tell you that that's the date, 9/23/2017. But within the same year, from Elvis's birthday to 9/23, the day of the Revelation 12 sign, it's 8 months, 16 days. Okay? 8 months, 16 days. And Elvis died on 8/16, okay? Do you understand? 8/16, and I just told you that there's 92 days or 3 months. So you have the 923 connection, and I told you that the ninth prime is 23 because Elvis needs the 9. In between Elvis's birthday and 923 is 8 months, 16 days. Elvis died on 8/16, right? Now watch this. From the day Elvis was born to the exact day it happened, the supposed Revelation 12 sign. I'm not saying it was a Revelation 12 sign. I'm telling you what they said. It was all over the internet for years, okay? It was 82 years, 8 months, 16 days. You see that? Seattle equals 82. Elvis died on 8/16. See the connection, what I'm saying? Okay? And that was a Revelation 12 sign. Now, watch how it all comes together to connect to the 923 everything. Because remember, it happened on 923. And the ninth prime is 23, okay? From 923, 2017 to 6/11 this year is 2,819 days. Okay? Notice those numbers. Notice these numbers. It's the same numbers as Seattle 8219. See it? 8219. And if you saw my video about the 8228 connection, it was just a couple videos ago. You know that it's a perfect connection here. And then look, if you add 28 plus 19 is 47. And Elvis has been dead for 47 years, and Trump is the 47th president, if you saw my last video, okay? Now, and you'll see how this connects, this number. Because remember, that's from the Revelation 12 sign to 611, the big event this year. Anyone who gets in late, you got to watch from the beginning. The 410th prime is 2819. Why am I showing that? Because look, I just showed you. It was 2819 days from the Revelation 12 sign to this year, 611. The 410th prime is 2819. And Vernon Presley, Elvis's dad, is born on 410, okay? And look at that. From Elvis's birth to 410 on a regular year, because Elvis was born on a regular year, is 92 or 93. On a leap year, it's 94, which is my birthday connection, like I said from the last video. Look, from Elvis's birthday to 410 is 92, 93. There's that 923 connection. Remember, everything's about 92, 93 in this video, or 923, which is the Revelation 12 sign, okay? And if you still think there's a coincidence, remember, it all started back here when we were looking at the Revelation 12 sign to 611 is 2,819 days, okay? And then we looked at the 410th prime is 2819. Vernon Presley's born on 410, okay? And then in between Elvis's birthday and Vernon Presley's birthday is 92, 93 days, which is the 923 connection, okay? And which is the Revelation 12 sign, 923. And you think it's a coincidence that in between Vernon Presley's birthday and 7-11, not 6-11, this is 7-11, because you know, 6 months and 11 days into the year is 7-11, but that's not why I'm showing this. You'll see why I'm showing it in a minute. From Vernon's birthday, 410, to 7-11 is 92, 93 days. And why am I showing that? Because from the first of the year to 7-11, it's 923 days. So it's all connected to the 923. That's why Vernon had to connect to the 923 to 7-11, because that's from the first of the year, which is very important. Okay. And from Elvis's birthday to 410 is 92, 93 days. Okay, so everything's about that 92, 93. You'll see how it all connects. Just keep watching, okay? This is very difficult to explain, okay? Just keep watching, all right? Give me a second to put these cards together. I messed everything up. Hold on, folks. Man, I'm about ready to lose it here. So, Elvis's first job was at Crown Electric. I guess his first real job or something. They even have a date. Look at the date of Elvis's first job of Crown. And I told you, everything's about the crown. And notice the date, 4-2 with a crown. 42 with a crown. Elvis died at 42, and Washington is the 42nd state. But look, in between Elvis's first job at Crown Electric to the day Elvis took the needle, is 923 days. There's that 923 again, okay? Because everything's about the needle, right? Remember? And I told you the ninth prime is 23. Now check this out, folks. See, here's where it starts to get interesting. Why am I bringing this up? Because from the Twin Towers to this year, 611, is 23 years, 9 months exactly. There's that 923. See what I mean? You know what's crazy is I showed this in one of my videos a long time ago, all these numbers, but I didn't put it together with what I was trying to say, because Elvis needs the 9. Do you understand? The ninth prime number is 23. Okay, that's what's going on here. They're connecting it to that last piece of the puzzle, because I told you they need all of these puzzles that connect to my other numbers that I'm showing you, okay, in the last video. And anyway, so here we go. Keep watching. Look how it all connects to the 923, 23, 9. 99. Look, 911. Look at this. 911, 9, 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. You see what I mean? 923. Do you get what I'm saying? Is that, let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that's pushing it, what I'm showing here? If this is pushing it, let me know, okay? Do you think I'm pushing it with this? I just need to know real quick. Can somebody tell me? Is this pushing it by showing it this way? Okay, so you agree it's okay, this one? Okay, anyway, so like I said, it's very interesting, right? The 23.9, right? Anyway, so let's keep going. Why is this so important, this 9293? 92, get it? 923, 9293. I'm about ready to lose it with that car horn. The ninth prime is 23. Everything's about the 9293, okay? Now look at this, folks. You think there's a coincidence, huh? Watch. How many days in between 611 and 911? You see? You see, there's what they were waiting for. 9293. See? Do you get it? 923. That's what it is. Because you don't have to say the same number again. It's 9293. You understand what I'm saying? 923. In between 611 and 911. And now you're at that mark of 23 years, 9 months. There's that 239932. You understand? 9293. It's right there. 611 to 911. Now 911 to 611. See what I mean? Now, watch. Hold on, folks. My hand's about to. Oh, man, I almost dropped the phone, folks. Hold on a second. My arthritis. Because this is my second video of the day here. It's killing me in my hand. Check this out. So remember, we're talking about the 9293. Look at this. 90 from Elvis's birthday to 92 is 239 days on a leap year. And from Elvis's birthday to 93 is 239 days on a regular year. You see? 92, 93, 923. From Elvis's birthday is 239 days. You see? And also on a regular year, it touches my birthday, 9/4. If you don't add the day, when you go to 9/4, if you don't add the day, it hits 239 to my birthday, 9/4. But you see what I'm saying? It's connected to the 9293. Now, what happens if you go to the next, like this is within 1 year, like from here to here is within 1 year, right? Now, what happens if you go to the next year? What do you see? Look what happens when you go to the next year. See? It's 611 days. But this is from the first of the year. Sorry. No, I messed that up because this is from Elvis's birthday. Sorry. This is from the first of the year. Sorry about that. But if you go from the first of the year to 9/2, it's 611 days with a leap year. Without any leap years, it goes to 9/3 is 611 days. You see what I'm saying here? It's how it's all connected to the 9293. And remember, I revealed Elvis was the Antichrist on September 3rd, 2019. I revealed he was the Antichrist, okay? Just keep watching, folks. I have a ton of more information to show. This is like beyond crazy what I'm about to show you with all these 9293s, okay? Okay, just keep watching. Focus on the video, people. Anyway, so from Elvis's birthday, so remember, from Elvis's birthday is 239 days, right? To 9/3, and remember, I told you that when I revealed that Elvis was the Antichrist was on 9/3, and I told you if you add up all the numbers between 1 through 42 is 903. You get what I'm saying? 903, which I showed earlier. And Washington's the 42nd state. Elvis died at age 42. So everything is connected to the 993 or 92. And Elvis turned 90 years old this year, and I just explained the 3 is a crown, the O is a crown, whatever. Now, back to this. So from the first of the year to 4/2, because remember, Elvis died at age 42. Washington is the 42nd state. Is 92 or 93 days on a leap year. So it's actually the 92nd day of the year, and on leap year is 93. Okay. If you don't add the day on a regular year, it's 91. But on a regular year, it's 92 days. Then on leap year, it's 93. Okay. So 923 going to 4/2. Elvis died at age 42. Washington is the 42nd state. You understand? Now watch this. Okay, I gotta rest my hand, folks, before we show the rest. I can't even. Literally, my hand's completely numb. I don't even feel it anymore. Just the pain's coming up into my forearm. Let me take that water. Oh yeah, you found my channel in 2019, huh? Yeah, I've been on YouTube since between 2012 and 2014. I can't remember when I started, but I started with fake news videos. Then I went into other stuff. I mean, when I say other stuff, this. Anyway, let me keep going here. No, I read the chat. God bless. Yeah, I saw some of the comments you were making. Yeah. Let me just, man, I can't get my hand to come back to life. Hold on. Just give me a moment, man. Just give me a second here. So remember a minute ago, I was just showing you that from the first of the year to 4/2, it's 92 or 93 days on leap year. Now, if you went to 4/3, you'll see why I'm showing that in a minute. If you went to 4/3 on a regular year, if you don't add the day, it's 92 days. And if on a regular year, if you add the day, it's 93 days. Okay, so it's 92, 93 when you don't add the day and when you add the day on a regular year. Then on leap year, it's 94. Okay, so I'm trying to make you understand that everything that connects to 92, 93 to 94, that's where, you know what I mean? And that's why at 95, because my date connects to 95. Okay, it has to connect to the 95. All right. And that's why all these numbers connect to each other. 90 connects to 91, 92. You know what I mean? But there's a limit to what they're, I guess it stops at 95. You know what I mean? What they're talking about. All right. And you'll understand in a moment. Hold on. So here, check this out. So remember from the first of the year to 4/2 is 92 days. It's the 92nd day of the year, and then 93 on a leap year. But if you go to 4/3, it's 92 days if you don't add the day, 93 if you add the day, and 94 on a leap year. So basically, it's the 93rd day of the year. But so what I'm trying to explain is because we're talking about 92, 93, right? So 4/2 is 92. 4/3 is 93. That's why 42, 43 has to be the connection. And you'll see how it connects in a moment. Okay? So 4/2 is 92. 4/3 is 93. Okay? We're talking about the 923, 90, 92, 93 connections. And you'll see how it all connects. Remember, I just connected the 911 to the 923. Remember earlier. Okay? You think it's a coincidence that George Bush Jr., he was the president during 9/11. He was the 42nd person, 43rd president. And remember, 4/2 is 92, 4/3 is 93. Are you paying attention? Are you getting it? I hope you're understanding what I'm showing here, because it's very important. Let me look. Hold on. I'm looking for a piece of. What did I do with I wonder if it's in here. Maybe it's in here. Hold on one second. Are you guys getting what I just showed? Let me just show you. I'm trying to find this other right here. Hold on. So remember, we're talking about, because from 9/11 to 6/11, it was 23 years, 9 months, and the ninth prime number is 23, right? And in between 611 and 911 is 92, 93 days. 923, get it? Okay? And 92, 93, you understand? 92, 93. From Twin Towers collapse to this year is 23-9. Ninth prime number is 23. And now you have Bush being the 42-43, and it's 92, 93rd day of the year. Do you see it? I just want to make sure you guys are seeing it before I move on. Okay, so you do see it. Okay. Now, remember, he was the 9/11 president, right? Guess what would happen? Where would you land if you went from the date 4/2 or 4/3 and you went forward? If you went forward 9,293 days from any of these two dates, 9,293 days, you understand? 9,293 days, where would it land from one of these dates? 4/2 or 4/3. Look, see? See what I mean? There it is, to 9/11. I'm not saying, I'm talking about just, picking certain years. Anywhere from, anytime you go from 4/2 to 4/3 or 4/3, it lands on 9/11. If you, certain years, whichever year you picked, it lands on one of those. Okay? Because of the leap year, you get it? So again, it connects to the 92, 93. Okay? And the Georgia Guidestones went down on George Bush's 76th birthday, the junior, and it was 42 years. Remember, Elvis died at the age of 42. Washington is the 42nd state, and it's Georgia. And if you know, I've done many videos on it. You got to go watch it. But notice this number right here, 706, and he was 76 years old, right? The 7-6 connection, and of course you have the skull and bones number. But forget about that. It's the 42, the George connection, George Bush, get it? And the 76. Why am I showing the 76 connection? Because it happened on 706, right? But look, check this out. Hold on. You remember I was telling you that the 95 is what if you saw the last video, because I told you that it's all about the 94, 95 in the last video. And 611 plus 95 is 706. And from the first of the year, if you went forward 6 years, 6 months, 6 days, it lands on 706. And Elvis started his career at 706 Union, which is Sun Studios. That's the address, Sun Studios. And George Bush was born on 706. Do you get what I'm saying? The 9/11 president. It's all right there. You see what I mean? And by the way, the word union equals the word crown. Same exact number. And did you know that George Bush Sr. died on 11/30? Senior. Check this out. Check this out. First of all, he died on George Bush Sr., the George Bush Jr.'s father. He died on the date 11/30. The date. This is the time. I'm just showing you something. He died on 11/30. The date. At 11:30, the hands are on the 6 and the 11, or upside down 9/11. You see what I mean? If you turn it upside down, it'd be 9/11, right? And the hands are on the 6 and 11, 11:30, right? And why am I showing that? Okay, because I told you he died on 11/30, but when was he buried? He was buried on 12/6. And look at that. From that date he was buried, George Bush Sr., to this year, 6/11, is 6 years, 6 months, 6 days. You see that? And also, June 11th is the 162nd day of the year. So you got 162. You see that? Connection, All right. And also, guess how old George Bush was? 94 years old when he died. Okay. But to the date he was buried, he died at age 94. But to the date he was buried, it's 94 years, 5 months, 25 days. Look at that. So you have the 945, and then the year's 25. Get it? We're in the year 25. 945. Because if you watch the last video, I was showing all the connections with the 945. Because 1 through 9 equals 45. I told you everything's about that 9. Okay? And interestingly enough, George Bush Sr. was the 41st president. George Bush Jr. was 43rd, makes 84. Trump's going to get his head one on 84. And, George Bush, he was born on 6/12, died on 12/6. Look, it's the backwards numbers. See that? It's reversed. And, Elvis had a twin that was born on 1/8. You see, 1/8, 1/8. So he was born and then buried on 12/6. Interesting. Okay. And I showed you that the 1130 death was the hands are on 6 and 11, right? And also the death date, 1130, the death date is the 334th day of the year. If you go 1000 minus 334, you get 666. You see? So you see what I'm saying? Yeah, I appreciate that. God bless you and everyone else in the chat. So the 334th day on a regular year. And if you minus that from 1000, it's 666, you know what I mean? And guess when, you know who the first president was that died in this century? In this century was Ronald Reagan. Look at that. And guess when Ronald Reagan was buried? 6/11. Look at that. He died at 60. He was buried on 6/11, Ronald Reagan. And guess what Reagan's initials are? 1818. You see what I mean? Elvis had two of them were born on 1/8. 1818 is 1818. Anyway, my hand's about to fall off, folks. I have to put this down. Hold on. I can't even feel my hands right now. Yeah, it's gonna be his anniversary. Yeah, I have so much to show, folks. I'm not even halfway done yet, and it's 42 minutes in. I hope you understand so far. Okay, people are probably saying to themselves, "Well, wait a minute. In the last video, you were showing everything connecting to your birthday, which is 9495. Why are you showing 9293?" I'm trying to make you understand that they're using every number combination that's connected to this end puzzle. People. That's why it's not just one number, folks. Do you understand? I'm showing you how they're connecting it. Okay, that's why in the Bible it says, "Here is wisdom." There, if it was just an easy puzzle, anyone could have figured it out. Do you understand? This is this is so. Like I said, it's trying to explain the unexplainable. Yeah, it's an intricate puzzle. I'm trying to explain to you the combinations that they're using to get to this magic. Okay, I know it's convoluted. You don't think I know that? But it all connects to each other. Trust me. Okay? Like, I'll give you an example. Look. Okay, because my birthday's 9/4, right? So how does 9/2 connect to 9/4? Watch. Watch and see. Elvis, born on 1/8, dies on 8/16. Look. Look. See, I'm just giving you an example of how they connect. See? Elvis's birthday, 1/8, died on 8/16. Added up those numbers, 9/24. 9/2/9/4. Do you understand what I'm showing you? That's what I'm trying to make you understand. Okay? And on a leap year, it lands on 8/17. 8/16 on a leap year lands on 8/17's date. So you know what I mean? So it can technically be like a 9/25. So the point I'm trying to make is that everything connects to each other. You have to see what the puzzle connection is, then you can understand it all, That's why it takes years of understanding of all this. And guess who's born on 9/2? Neo. And guess who's born on 9/4? Me. And guess where Neo was born? Beirut, Lebanon. Where was I born? Beirut, Lebanon. He was born 2 days before me in the same hospital. We were born in the exact same moment. We were in this. He was at the hospital when I was. Keanu Reeves. What is Keanu Reeves doing in Beirut, Lebanon? Can somebody explain this to me? What is Keanu Reeves doing in Beirut, Lebanon? Absolute nonsense. Okay? The guy who breaks the matrix just happens to be born in the same hospital at the same time as me? Come on. You kidding me? All right, let's keep going. Like I said, folks, I have a long way to go still. And it gets better. So, like I said, it kind of drifts off a little bit, but it comes back. So I'm drifting off of the 9293 for a moment because you know why? It leads back to it. So watch how I go back to it, okay? You're probably saying, how does this connect to the 9293? Watch. Give me a second here. Give me a second. Oh, man. Stupid! What am I doing? I'm trying to hit the wrong button here. Anyway, so remember, Elvis died at age 42. Washington is the 42nd state. So the prime number, because everything, that 11 is super important, obviously, because 611, 911, you know what I mean? And the 69 is like a twins inside of a circle. It's the crown, you know what I mean? Anyway, so 11th prime is 31. If you add the 11 to the 31, you get 42, right? And it just so happens, Trump was born 11 years after Elvis, and then he was 31 when Elvis died. You see what I mean? 1131, get it? Makes 42, right? Elvis died at 42, Washington, 42nd state. And Washington state was founded on 1111. You see, you know what I mean? And I told you that he needs the 9. Look at that. He's born on 1/8. There was 2 of them born that day, 1/8, 1/8, and then he needs the 9, and because one of them died, right? The twins. That's why Trump is the replacement twin. Anyway, as I was saying, just watch. It comes right back to each other. I'm just drifting off for a minute. So I told you the 69 is like a crown with the 11s, you know what I mean? And I told you that 11 is like L even, and that's why the towers look like an 11 when they went down. Remember that? And 11 happens to equal 63. The space needle is 63 years old right now, and Elvis is 90 years old. Okay, so you have a kind of a connection there. And June 11th is the 162nd day of the year. August 4th is the 216th day of the year. And if you use that 2 and hit the 5 and 4 with it, 254 is 9/11. That's the 254th day of the year. So it's got a lot of connections. Anyway, keep watching as I bring it all together back to the 9293. So 42 days is 11.51%. That's how much of a year it is, 42 days. 11.51%, okay? And I'm just, like I said, I'm just showing stuff, okay? Just give me a second, okay? Why am I showing this first? Hold on a second. I don't know why I showed that first. I don't know what this is that I'm showing, but let me just show it anyway. I told you how the 9-5 is very important to this puzzle because that's what they were all about, the 94, 95. Elvis, he's born on 1/8. November's the 11th month. So if you were to count 12 months forward every time, so it'd be the 11th month, and the 23rd month, and the 35th month, the 47th month, the 59th month, 71st month, and the 83rd month, and the 95th month. It just so happens it lands on the 8th. Elvis is born on 1/8. So it's 1 and 8 from the 11 to the 95. So the 95 connects to the Elvis's birthday. You understand what I'm saying? That's I'm just trying to show you that it has a connection to Elvis's birthday. Now, back to what we were talking about here. So remember I showed you that the 42 days is 11.51%. If you go between 611 and 84, it's 1151 days. So what I'm saying is it connects to the 42 again with the amount of days in between 611 and 84. It has the 1151 connection. Okay? And also, 611 to 911, you have 11,051 days in between, and it hits 911. And why is that important? Because look, 42 days is 11.51. 11, the zero, like a point, you understand, is a zero, the point, 51, 51. So there's connection again between 611 and 911. And I told you 611 and 911 in between is 92, 93 days, right? And hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second here. Sorry. And remember, let me just show that one more time. Because see, now we're coming back to where I just drifted off for a second because I had to show you all that 1151 stuff. So 611 to 911 is 92, 93. Remember, we're talking about the 923 connections. And in between 911, the date the towers collapsed to this year, 611 is 23 years 9. So, and the ninth prime is 23. So everything has to do with the 92, 93. Remember, like I said, I drifted off. And why did I drift off? Because look, if you add the 92nd and the 93rd prime together, you add up all the numbers, you get 1151. And remember what the 1151 was, right? It had to do with the 42. The 42 days was 11.51%. Okay? And now we're back to the 92, 93 stuff. And you add up all the prime numbers and then you add the 92, 93, you get 1151. Okay? Now, why am I bringing that up? Because look what 1151's prime is. See? Are you looking? Do you see it? And you'll see why I'm bringing it up in a moment. Okay? Do you see that? Again, connecting, okay, to what I'm talking about. Now watch. Give me a second. What did I do with it? Wait a minute, man. Hold on 1 second, folks. Did I not make a card for that? You know what? Maybe I need to just show it. Let me just show it here. I don't understand what I did with it. Give me a second here. Huh. Give me a second. Let me just show it to you guys. What I created here. This chart that I created years ago. Where is it? Give me 1 second here. This was unexpected here. Give me a second here. All right, where is it here? What the heck? All right. Now watch this. Do you know that November is the 11th month, right? Now look, I made a chart like I told you folks. I wrote down every 12 months in the month of November. So I started from 11 because November is the 11th month, okay? Now look, November is the 11th month, and the let me just tell you something. It's going to be hard for me to make you understand, but the 51st number down, okay? The 51st number down in November, because I'm counting every 12 months. So the 51st time in the month of November, because remember 1151 was that important number that I was just showing you. So the month of November is 11. Then the 51st number down, guess what it is? 611. Do you see? You don't know that unless you count what I'm showing you, because you have to count it all. Okay? Do you get what I'm saying? Yes. Now, you know how I can prove that to you? Because look, because the 12th month, the 12th month is December. So watch. What is 12 times 51? 12 times 50,
51 is 612.
612. So 12 times 51 is 612. So what comes before 611? That would be November. You understand? So December, the 51st number down in December, every 12. Do you understand? 12 times 51, I'm going down, is 612. So that means November was 611 with the way I numbered it. So do you understand? I just proved it. So do you get it? You have to do it that way. You have to do it with the 12 first. So 12 times 51 is 612. Then just move down one notch. It would be November, would be 611. Okay? Do you get it? So there it is, right there. And 1151, I just showed you, was all those connections with the 42, and the 1151st prime was 9293. You know, it's so it's so complicated, man. This puzzle, man. And anyway, also, you remember earlier when I was telling you about the 76? Remember all that 76 talk? Look at the 76 number down. 911. Who's born on 7/6? Who was born on 7/6? I just showed you earlier. Stupid George Bush Jr. He was the 9/11 president. Are you getting it? You see how perfect that is? The 76 number down is 9/11. The 51st prime number the 51st number down was 6/11. And remember, I told you, if you count the 1/8, that's Elvis's birthday. The 8th number down was 95. I told you everything connects to that 95, for this year, if you know what I'm talking about. But what I'm trying to explain to you is that's why JFK's connections are so, really good too, to this puzzle. Yeah, and Georgia Guidestones, I talked about that, yeah. Now check this out. If you think these are coincidences, look at those numbers I put up there. The first one is 11, right? You got to use that 11. Then the 8th number it connects to the 9, the 9/5. Then the 51st is 6/11, 76 is 9/11, right? Look at this. You add up all those numbers, you get 136. And remember, that was the first one was 11, the 8th was 95. I'm talking about the month chart. So I'm just using what the numbers are. You add it up, it's 1764. And why am I showing that? Because look what 1764 is, folks. Look at that. The square root of 1764 is 42. And 42 times 42 equals 1764. Do you see that? And do you know how many days in between Bill Clinton, from Elvis's birth, the exact day he's born, to the exact day that Bill Clinton is born is 4,242 days. Are you listening? And the day Elvis is born to the exact day the 42nd president, Bill Clinton, was born is 4,242 days. Okay? I'm asking you, how is this possible? Now check this out, some more. 1764 is the number we just looked at, right? We were just talking about. 17 times 64 is 1,088. 17 plus 64 is 81. Add it up, you get 1169. There's that 611 and 911. You see it? Or 110, because the 69 is like a crown, so it's 110. And how many floors was the towers? 110 each. Remember that? It's like I said, it's all connected. Okay? And speaking of 42s, remember I told you that Washington's founded on 1111. The prime numbers, 11th prime is 31, and 31 plus 11 is 42. 31 plus 11 is 42. 42, 42 again. You see what I mean? And also, speaking of, because I told you everything connects to each other. If you saw my last video about the Pearl Harbor, if you look at Pearl Harbor, and 611 and 911 connects to Pearl Harbor. Look at that. 51 plus 76 equals 127. Pearl Harbor happened on 12/7. You see? I'm just saying. And I told you that 9/11, the buildings were 1, 2, and 7 that fell. And of course, in between Elvis's birth and Pearl Harbor was 6 years, 11 months exactly. Just a pure coincidence, I'm sure. I'm sure none of this, if you saw the last video, you saw all the connections I made. But anyway, let me take a break for a second. I'm not almost done, but I got. Oh, let me just show this before I take a break. Actually, that way we can forget about this info. It's not that important. This part here, Seattle. The only Super Bowl they won was the 48th. And why is that important? Because Seattle slew when he won the Triple Crown. He won the Triple Crown June 11th, 77. See, Elvis died on 8/16/77. So that's why it's still going to be 47 years on June 11th this year that Elvis has been dead. But from Seattle slew winning the Triple Crown to this year, 6/11, is 48 years. And the only Super Bowl Seattle won was the 48th Super Bowl. And the Mariners, the baseball team, they started in 77. The baseball team, Seattle Mariners. Okay? So it's going to be 48 years old. And you remember all the 76 connections I was showing you? Look at this. Add up all the numbers between 1 through 48, you get 1176. Remember I showed you the 11th November? November's 11. 76 number down was 9/11. 1176, 1176, 9/11. And you know what I mean? So it's connecting to 9/11 and 6/11. Do you get it? Super Bowl 48, Seattle. 48 years. 1 through 48 is 1176. 1176 connects to the 9/11. You see? Okay, now I got to take a break for a second. Did you guys understand that? Yeah, first of all, anyone who hasn't watched, you guys got to watch part 1 and then come back and watch part 2, because I'm laying groundwork on why the 9 is so important. Then in this video, it kind of it's not connected to that, but I'm trying to show you why 9 is so important. Because in this video, in the beginning, I kind of start with the 9 stuff. But really, they're all connected. Every number has some kind of magic to it. There's no such thing as a bad number. It's just a number that they need to make it all come together, okay? It's not a one number thing. This is, whatever this is that they're doing, it's like a perfect timing to whatever it is, It's all about timing with these people. Time equals 47, Elvis has been dead 47 years. Trump is the 47th president. You see, it's all connected. Yeah, that's exactly. Numbers rules the universe, right? And God created it. God created math. There's no such thing as it. He created it. You know what I mean? He created it, all of it. Anyway, let me finish this video, folks. I just got like maybe another half an hour here. Hold on. Man, this has been exhausting, man. I'm not done, folks. There's still more. There's still more incredible info coming, which connects to that 92, 93 stuff that I've been talking about through this whole video. Give me a second here. Give me a second. Yeah, anyone just getting in, you're never going to understand what I'm showing. You got to go to the beginning of the video. All right? You don't need to watch from here. Okay, now, and you got to go watch part 1 also. All right? Especially if you're new. Anyway, so West Coast time is 6/11 when it's East Coast 9/11. Do you understand? So, again, connecting to each other, All right? Now, and I told you in between 6/11 and 9/11 is 92, 93 days. This whole video has been about that, the 92, 93 or 9/23, right? And is it just a coincidence? Because remember, we're trying to figure out this puzzle, okay? So is it just a coincidence that 9-2 and 9-3 is the first time you see the percentage at 67? So Elvis equals 67, and Elvis's identical, who died at birth, was named Jesse, equals 67. So the first time you see 67 is at 9-2. The next time is 9-3, and then I'll show you in a moment what's the rest, and you'll see how it all connects now. But look, before I show that, remember, in between Elvis's birthday and 9/11, the percentage of 247 days is 67.67. Elvis and Jesse, the twins, and the twin towers came down, right? And the word twin equals 66, and it was 66 years in between. Do you understand? Besides what I'm showing you here, it's 66 years in between Elvis' birthday and 9/11. And 66 equals the word twin. Twin equals 66. But look, 67.67, Elvis equals 67, Jesse equals 67. Okay? And look, it's 8 months, 4 days. Trump is going to get his head 184. Now you're going to see how the 9-2, 9-3 connects to the 9-4, 9-5. Here it goes. Finally, we get to the point. See, it's about the 67s. That's what it's about. And why does it end? It ends at 95. You understand? America's age is 248 years old. I was born on 9-4, but it landed on the 9-5 day because it was the 248th day of the year. Are you looking at it? It's the first time is 9-2, is at the 67, and then the last time is at 9-5. Okay? Are you getting it? All right? Are you understanding? And look, it's at the 95. And 9-5 is the 248th day of the year. See? Are you getting it now? Are you understanding it? Okay? Before I move on, let me just give my hand a rest. Did that kind of make you understand what the last video was about? So from anyone who just saw this, if you go back and look at that, understand now why I was showing 9-4, 9-5. I didn't want to give it away in the last video. But now I think of it, I should have, because people are like, why are you connecting 9-4 and 9-5? You know what I mean? But now it makes it much more clear, as to why the 9-4, 9-5 was so important, Okay? Anyway, I'm not done yet. I still have ways to go, folks. Just give me a moment here. Just give me a moment. Yeah, I appreciate that. God bless all of you. All right. Anyway, remember to thumb up the video before you go. Don't forget that, okay? And make sure you comment. And make sure you watch the last video, too, the part 1, under the live section. All my videos are under the live section of this channel. All the recent videos. I haven't done a pre-recorded video in over a year. All right, so let's get back to what we were showing here. So remember I was just showing you. That, because remember, Elvis and Jesse, they both equal 67, right? And his identical, who died at birth, right? And 67.95 is where it ended, you see? Now, look at this. It just so happens that, see Elvis's name? It equals exactly the same as Jesse, but only in the front. What does the back equal? The back does not equal the same, but look what it equals, 67.95. Look at that. And notice what it equals, 162, which is June 11th. And then it ends with 225. See? June 11th is 163rd day on a leap year. But look, 162 and then 225. We're in the year 225. But this is what's important, 67.95. See? 67.95. It ends right here. You know what I mean? With the Jesse connection. Okay? Okay? Now that we can move on from this, because basically I just showed you why the 9495 connects to the 9293 because of this. You know, this is the last 67 because Elvis and Jesse equals 67. And by the way, 67 when written out, if you wrote out the letters and made it into letters, the number 67, you know, Sixeyseven, if you just spell all that out, it equals 162, which is June 11th. It's the first number that does that equals 162, which is June 11th. I'm sure that's just another coincidence. Anyway, let's get moving here to a different one. Okay, let's move on. Give me a second here. Give me 1 second here. So you know that you know when the calendar changed they went from the when they went from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar, they took out 11 days. They removed 11 days from the 9th month in 1752. Do you understand? In 1752, when they changed from the Julian to the Gregorian. And what's the date they did this in September? So 9/11, do you see? Look at that. So Julian calendar, its last day was 9/2. You see that? 9/2. And the first day of the Gregorian calendar was 9/14. So they removed all the dates in between. Okay? They removed all those dates in between those days just for that year. Okay? Now, why am I showing this? Because I want you to look at the dates, because I'm going to measure from those dates to 9/11 and 6/11. Okay? But first, let's do the 9/11. So from look at what you're saying here, folks. Pay attention. From 9/14, which is the first day of the Gregorian calendar. See, this is the last day of the Julian calendar. Remember, from the last day, which was 9/2, then the first day of the new calendar, because they took out all the days in between 9/2 and 9/14. So this is the first day. This was the last day of the Julian calendar. And look, so if you go to the 9/11, it's 248 years. If you go from the end, you know, the last day of the Julian calendar, it's 249 because it's before 9/11. This one's after 9/11. 9/14 is after. That's why. So 248, 249. What day is that? That's 9/5, the 248th day of the year, but on leap year is 249, right? So what I'm trying to say is it connects to the 248 because you really want to count from the first day. So the first day of the Gregorian calendar to 9/11 was 248 years. What did I just tell you we're in? We're in America's age right now of 248, 249. Okay, are you understanding? 248, 249 from the first day of the calendar or the last day, whatever way you want to see it. And America's current age is 248. Okay? And from the America founding date to 6/11 this year is still 248 years. Okay? But wait, I don't know if I wanted to show that. What the heck? Why didn't I highlight that? Hold on 1 second. How did I not highlight the best part of that? Maybe I show it later in the video. But look at this, folks. Look at this. Give me a second, folks. Give me a second. Give me a second to highlight this. So from the first day of the... Oh, sorry. So from America's founding date to 6/11 this year, are you ready for this? Look at this. 248 years, right? I told you 9/5 is the 248th day of the year. Look at this. Look at those numbers. Look at those numbers. Are you kidding me? There's that 9293, but look, also Elvis turned 90 this year. So you have a 90 and a 923. Do you understand all the stuff I was showing you earlier? Because remember, from 9/11 to 6/11 this year is 23 years, 9 months. So everything connects to this 9923 stuff. Okay? 92, 93. Are you understanding? All right, this is not a coincidence. And then from America's found, because we're in the year 225 right now, right? We're in the year 225. So what happened from America's founding to 9/11 is 225 years. And look at those numbers again: 248, 249. And 82 is Seattle. Seattle equals 82. So 82,248 or 249. The point I'm trying to make is it's the 225. We're in the year 225. Okay? And it's 248 years to 225 from America's founding, and from the first day of the new calendar to 9/11 was 248. So you have 248 here, or 225 from America's founding to 9/11, and then in 2025 from America's founding you have 248. So 248, 225. For the America's founding. Do you get it? I'm trying to show you that they both connect, from either from the new calendar, start to 9/11. It's got the same kind of connections as from America's founding to 6/11. Okay? Yeah, people talk about the Illuminati and stuff like they were started around that time too. Right? Because this whole thing was, folks. There's a reason why they call George Washington the father of our country. It's complete mockery. Okay, that's whatever's going on. That's why you have two Washingtons: Washington State, Washington D.C. What is that about? That's why Washington has two birthdays. What is that about? I've shown you the connections why that is if you've been watching my videos. And so that means, because Elvis equals 67, 68, but because Washington has two birthdays, his death date, which is 67 years old, would really be 68 if you measure from his original birthday. So his deaths are 67 or 68 years old. Elvis, his name equals 67, 68 backwards. Okay? You see what I'm saying? And Elvis was a twin. There's a twin aspect to all of this, okay? I've shown why they changed the birthdays, to connect to this puzzle. All right, let's keep going here. Now, I hope you guys can understand how perfect this puzzle is. It's so complicated, I understand, Oh, here's where I was talking about earlier. Remember the November month chart? This is a more perfect, more cleaner version of what I was trying to show earlier. I don't know what that was earlier that I was doing, even though it made some sense, but it was kind of convoluted. I wish I hadn't shown that one. So remember, I told you November, if you went down every 12 months, the first time is 11th month, right? Then the next one would be 23, 35, 46, you know what I mean? And I've shown all the connections with the 47 with this month too. But listen, so the 51st number down is 6/11. So it's 11/51, get it? 11th month, 51st time that November comes around, 51st time is 6/11, right? Check this out. So remember 42 days, I told you is 11.51. Elvis died at 42. Washington is the 42nd state. Add all numbers between 6 through 11, you get 51. You see what I'm trying to say here? 11 to the 51. 11 to 51. Get it? And I'm trying to think of what the square root of... Hold on. I want to look at something real quick. I thought, give me 1 second. Square root of, yeah, oops. Oh, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Sorry. I thought I had something there. Where are we? Okay, I'm just resting my hand for a second. Hold on. Anyway, let me go again. I got to start over with that last part. I'll tell you why, because it's important that I go fluid with it. So remember, the 1151 is the connection here, okay? 1151, and it connects to the 611, right? That's the connection. And the 42 connects to Elvis being dead. I mean, Elvis died at 42. Washington is the 42nd state. 42 days is 11.51% of a year. And if you add all the numbers between 6 to 11, you get 51. So you have the connection to the 6 to the 11 to the 51. That's all I'm showing here. And what is 4 plus 2? 6. You get what I'm saying? Anyway, so 1151 is the connection, right? And it connects to 611, right? So what is this? 1151st prime is 9293. Remember all the 9293 I've been showing the whole video? I showed this information a few minutes ago, but a little bit convoluted. But 1151, right? And 42 days is 11.51%, all that stuff, right? We're talking about the 9293. And remember, I connected the 1151 to the 611 just now, right? Hold on. Right, to the 611. And from the first of the year to 611, if you go forward 9,293 days, depending on what year, because it all depends on when you end. It could be 9294 if you add the day, or 9293. But for the most part, 9293. Whenever you have a middle and you have a one less and one below, then that means this is the actual accurate number. Okay? If you can go one below or one after to the same date, that means this is the accurate number for the day. Okay? Anyway, so 9293. There's that 9293 again, which is 1151 connection, which connected to the 611 a minute ago. You know what I mean? Right? You see what I'm saying? Okay. Now, if you still think there's a coincidence, what about this? Trump is 78 years old right now. On 611, he'll still be 78. Elvis was born on 1-1 to 1-8. His birthday, he was born on 1-8. From the first of the year, 1-1 to 1-8, the day he's born, is 7 days if you don't add the day, 8 days if you add the day. 78. See it? I told you Trump is the replacement twin. Look. If you minus 7 from 100 is 93, minus 8 from 192. There's that 9293. Now you understand? Again, some more 9293 stuff, which I've been showing you this whole video, right? What's in between 611 and 911? 9293. From the first of the year to 9293. It can be 611 if you have leap years. If you without leap years, it's 611 is 93. From the first of the year. Are you understanding? And that's the day I revealed Elvis was the Antichrist, September 3rd, 2019. So and I turned exactly 55 years old that day. You understand? What is 55? Satan, right? But I'm not Satan, but I revealed he was Satan that day. I said he was the Antichrist. Do you understand how incredible that is? That I was exactly 55 years old on that day, because the next day was my birthday. And if you go from my birthday to that day, it's 55 years exactly. Okay. Anyway, so here we go. Now, if you still think these are all coincidences, get ready. All right. Get ready. Here we go. These are all just coincidences. Remember, reverse date of a date. So remember, a reverse date of a date is whatever date you pick, you see what day it is of the year. So I picked Elvis's birthday, 1-8. It's the 8th day of the year. What's its reverse date? Because there's 357 days remaining. It's the reverse date. 357 plus 8 is 365. So that's its reverse date, okay? Now watch this. All right. So remember, Everything is about its twin. So if this is his birthday, Elvis, then what's his twin birthday? Would be the backwards kind of, right? Anything to do with like a backwards connection. So 357. Look at the 357. Watch this. Look what the 357th prime is. 2399. What did I just tell you about all the nine? Remember I told you about 92, 93? So the 357th prime is 2399. Okay? And that's his reverse date. Okay? And yes, the 357 is a gun, right? And look at this. 1223 is the reverse date, right? I just showed you the 357 connection, 2399. 1223 is his reverse date. $1,223 prime is 9923. What in the hell is this, man? What is this? Are you seeing what I'm showing you? Do you get it? I hope you guys understood what I just got to make sure. Did you understand what I just showed here? Do you get it? Or I just want to make sure you guys understood that before I keep going. Yeah, I hope you guys understood that. Okay. Yeah, this is what I'm talking. For anyone who came in late, you're not going to grasp the magnitude of what I'm showing, because I showed a lot of 923, 99, 92, 93s early too. You know, this has been a painstaking video, man. Some convoluted spots too, you know. But anyway, so I just showed you almost every connection. So the reverse date is 357, right? I mean, the reverse date is 1223, the 357th day. 357th prime is 2399. The 1223 prime is 9923. Same numbers. It's the same exact numbers. And the whole video I've been showing you 9923. Now, speaking of the reverse date, 1/8/1223's reverse date, look, 1/8. If you add 1/8 and 1223, you get 1331, right? The 6th prime is 13, the 11th prime is 31. There it is. Do you see it now? It's all right there. It's every single number attached to Elvis is right there in the numbers. You see what I'm talking about? Of what I've been trying to show you. Okay? And remember, like I said, the Big Apple is New York, which 9/11 is the time. If you do 9/11 time in New York, the Big Apple, in the Apple state of Washington, it'd be 6/11. Okay? The Big Apple, the Apple state is Washington, right? Okay, hold on. Oh, man. Hold on, folks. My hand's about to... Hold on, I didn't even get to the best part yet. I'm going to show you how maybe it's a possible explosion connection coming. That's what we're talking about here. What is the possibilities and what's going to happen? Okay, get ready. I'm about to show it right now. Oh, man. Hold on, folks. And by the way, speaking of the connection with New York, what did the white settlers call Seattle before it was Seattle? Give me a second. See that? Seattle was originally called New York. It was first called New York. So I just showed you the Big Apple and Apple State connection where 9/11 happened. You see how crazy that is? So the original name of Seattle, when they first came, they were calling it New York. It's so ridiculous, man. Unbelievable, man. All the connections, right? Anyway, let's keep going here. Here's the part where, like I said, I don't know what's coming on June 11th. I'm only speculating, as to, I'm saying that there's going to be an explosion that could lead to cataclysmic events. Okay? That's all I'm trying to make you understand here. Don't try to, you know, I can't give you every single piece of the puzzle. I can only speculate on some of it, but for sure is June 11th and August 4th, the two predictions. That is Holy Spirit led info, the predictions, June 11th and August 4th. I just didn't know the year, okay? But it's fitting perfectly like I showed here, okay? Now, like I said, to the exact details of what's going to happen, I'm not sure. All I know is that I believe that it's the biblical beast out of the sea revelation, the June 11th event, and the beast that gets the head wound, one of its heads gets the head wound, right, of the beast that rises, is the Trump event on August 4th. Okay, now let's keep going. Remember, the whole time I've been showing you that because it's all about the 9, right? Elvis needs that 9. That's why Elvis waited to be 90 years old right now, 9 with the crown. He's at 90 years old. And the 9th prime was 23. And from 9/11 to 6/11 is 23 years, 9 months exactly. So you have the 923 connection with that, just like that Revelation, 12 sign, stuff. So 23/9, 9th prime is 23. Everything's about 92, 93. I've been showing the whole video. 923 or 9923. Now watch. Now, I don't know what this means, okay? But I've talked about this before, okay? I don't exactly know what the number 239 means, but look. What is plutonium 239? Let's look at what it says. Don't ask me, folks, because I don't understand if this is even right, this stuff. Okay, it says it's a radioactive isotope of plutonium known to make nuclear. It's something to do with nuclear, okay? Something to do with nuclear. Plutonium 239. Remember, I just told you the 9/11, from 9/11 to 6/11 this year is 23 years, 9 months. 23 years, 9 months from 9/11, 2001 to this year, 6/11, 2025. And the 9th prime is 23. You understand? Okay? 23/9, plutonium 23. And what is plutonium's, okay? What is plutonium's element number? 94. So they say something about plutonium 239. I don't care what it is. I don't know what it is, but I know it has something to do with nuclear stuff, this plutonium and the 239 connection. So plutonium is the 94th element. There's that 94 again. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because what are we talking about here? We were talking about the 92, 93, right? All this stuff. So the elements that are used in nuclear weapons, I'm sure there's others. I'm not sure if this is the only ones, but uranium, neptunium, and plutonium, 92, 93, 94. What in the hell is this? You know what I mean? Are you understanding what I'm showing here? All right. So the point I'm trying to make is it's connected to to these numbers, okay? And then what's the 95 connection? Americium, whatever the hell, I don't know what it's called. Americum, whatever. But it sounds like America. So they're saying, what are they telling you here? They're telling you nuclear, then America is the 95. Which I told you it's all, but we're in that 95 range right now. America's age is 248 years. The 248th day of the year is 9/5. Are you understanding what I'm showing? Which I've shown already. There's nothing new. I just didn't really want to connect it to the nuclear stuff, but I showed you with the 94, 95 with plutonium a long time ago. Okay, and I believe Doesn't the planet Pluto or something do 248 years? Does anyone, I showed that already. That's what I'm saying. I didn't want to bring it in this video. Does anyone know about that? Is it 248 years or something like that? That Pluto, the supposed planet, or was a planet? Who cares? And wasn't Pluto the ninth planet? Was Pluto the ninth planet? Yeah, Pluto does 248 years in its cycle or something. Is Pluto and Pluto return? What the hell? And I talked about this. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, I know the Pluto was a cartoon, but I'm saying, was Pluto the ninth planet? Yeah, and Pluto returned on Trump's birthday. Someone's saying. I talked about this. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Yeah, the Pluto is the cycle is 248. I've talked about this. So again, I'm asking you guys, was Pluto the ninth? Yeah, it was the ninth planet. See, Elvis needs the 9. You see? And it connects right to my birthday. You see? And then America, sounds like America, this Americium, whatever the heck it is. I don't know how to pronounce it. And look at this. June 11th equals 141. Plutonium equals 141. Tribulation 141. Elvis Lucifer 141. Seattle Slew 141. There was another 141 that somebody said the other day, man. I wish I could remember it. I can't remember it now. There was another 141 that someone mentioned. I think it was on, that Trader's channel. I can't remember now. You know what I'm talking about. The Trader. But anyway, I hope he repents, man. I seriously hope he repents. But anyway, we're gonna leave. Nobody mentioned his name in the chat. I don't even want to. I don't even know why I brought it up. But yeah, may God have mercy on him. And anyway, so 94, 95, I told you equals 189. I told you Elvis needs the 9, and I was showing you that the prime number 1889, because I told you Elvis needs the 9. Washington was founded in 1889, the state. And look at the numbers, 16253. June 11th is the 162nd day of the year. June 14th is the 165th day of the year. So it's 1625 and then a crown. See? That's what that is. Okay? What you're seeing here. Okay? With that connection. Because Washington was founded in 1889. And it connects to June 11th and June 14th. With Trump's birthday. And the 3 is a crown, like I told you. Okay? But anyway, so remember, I told you the 3 is like the W, which like Washington, and the O can be a crown, a portal, a head, a womb, a ring, an egg, a halo, the matrix, whatever you want to call it, because the womb is a matrix. Yeah, please make sure you thumb up the video. And remember, I told you Elvis needs the 9. 94, 95 equals 189. Elvis needs the 9. I've already explained it. And remember, Elvis is 90 years old now. So here we go. I told you there can only be one. That's why the twin had to be sacrificed, Elvis's twin, or whatever happened to him. I have no idea. So Elvis needs the 9, right? And that's why Memphis, Tennessee equals 189. I showed in the last video. Look. And remember, Elvis turned 90. Elvis needs that 9. He was born on 1/8. He needs the 1/8 with the 9 with a crown. Okay? The prime number, 1890, 1890, get it? Prime number is 16267. Look at that, it's right there. June 11th is the 162nd day of the year, and Elvis equals 67. And guess what 67 equals when written out? 67 equals when it's written out, the number equals 162. Okay? Okay? That's exactly what what's going on here. All right, now, speaking of that plutonium thing, check this out. Hold on, I gotta put this down. I'm almost done, folks. I only have very little to go. Only like 5 cards, and it's not even that important. But I just want to show it. Oh, and somebody was telling me earlier that the 90th element. I actually knew this, but I didn't connect it. That's what it was. Submarine equals 141. Yes, that was it. Because people are saying that it could be a submarine, and the word sub equals 42. And you maybe it's not, the fact that the Mariners started in 77, so you have a submarine, get it? Marine, Mariners. But anyway, yes, submarine was the 141, just like June 11th equaled 141, plutonium equaled 141. Yeah, I appreciate that. And somebody in the chat was mentioning that yes, there it is. The person in the chat is mentioning it right now. Appreciate that about the 90th element, because I've mentioned it before, but I just didn't know. I didn't connect it to because the 90th element is thorium, Thorium, I think, and he was telling me that Thor is the god of war. I would have never known. I don't pay attention to those stuff, but he was the god of war. Okay, so that's interesting because Elvis is 90 years old right now, and the 90th element, the 9 with the crown, right? The god of war? Are you serious? Thorium? What is the 90th element? Yeah, thorium. Go figure, Yeah, and okay, now let me get to the last part. Guess when plutonium. Man, see, this is what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm not even going to show this. This is stupid. I was going to show how many days from. It's senseless. I was going to show how many days in between the Nagasaki and what's the other one? Hiroshima. But I don't even want to bother to Elvis's death date and to 6/11. Nah, it's senseless. There is connections to 6/11 there, but I don't even want to show it. I just want to show the plutonium connection. Remember, plutonium was the 94th element. It was founded in 12 on 12 or it first got discovered somehow or whatever. Hold on. When was plutonium discovered?
According to Atomic Heritage Foundation, Nuclear Museum, Element 94. Its discovery created unique opportunities and challenges for scientists and corporate partners of the Manhattan Project. Plutonium was first produced and isolated on
Manhattan
December 14,
Project.
1940 by
You
Dr.
see that?
N.T. Seaborg, Joseph W.
That's where the 9/11 happened, right? But look, it's the 94th element, the plutonium, right? It started in December 14th, 1940. That's Washington's death date, 12/14, right? And look who started. Did you hear his name? Where is it? What is this? Glenn. First of all, I live in Glendale. But look, his name is Seaborg. What the heck? It's got the C like Seattle. The B side of the sea. Look at that Borg. What is a Borg? Isn't that like some kind of... I don't know what the heck. But anyway, so that was interesting. His name was Glenn Seaborg. But anyway, I'm almost done, folks. Where is it? Cyborg. That's what I was thinking. I couldn't figure out what the Seaborg, cyborg. But anyway, beast out of the seaboard. But just to show you that 9/4 is very important also, my birthday, which I showed already in the last video. First of all, anyone who's coming here right now, you got to watch part 1 first, okay? And let me tell you something. For the people who were watching this now, when you go back and look at that, because that whole video is about 9495, and this video was about 9293 really. So what? But later on during the video, I finally connected 92, 93, 94, 95. So you gotta wait through this video to figure out how the last video connected to this, because it's all about the 9 first of all, and then I show you how it connects later. But so, you know, if you're wondering why I'm showing you that, but you got to watch part 1 first, okay? Anyway, let me just show this last part. I don't know if it means anything to you guys, but it means something to me, you know. So, I mean, when I say I'm talking about the connection, obviously what I'm showing right here means everything. So the only thing that matters is Jesus. So Jesus, it equals 7411 in its forward numbers, and its backward numbers is 7461. Look at that. It has a 95 right there. Look at that. But look, 7461, let's start with that. Check this out. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. 911's prime numbers, if you add everything up, it's 74. 611's prime numbers, you add everything up, it's 61. See that? Jesus equals 7461. I wonder. And notice it's 20 and 17, which makes 37, which is the EL. And 54 plus 44 is what? Well, that's 98. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, it's the 9 in front of the 8. I told you Elvis needs the 9. So 37 is the EL connection, you know. But, and 37 plus 98 is what? What is 37 plus 98? 135? Yeah, 135. Oh, Washington State is 135 years old right now. Yeah. So that's a connection, yeah. Anyway, Jesus equals 7461. And you see the 7461 in the numbers, you see? With the primes. Now look at this. I told you that the first number that equals 162 is 67. Okay? The first number when written out, you see I wrote out 94? The first time when written out, a number that equals 162 is the number 67, and Elvis equals 67. And 162 is June 11th, right? That's why it's important. It's the June 11th, the 162nd day of the year. But look, the first time with a crown, the letter O, the first time with a crown, what number equals 162? What number is 94? See, 94 with a crown equals 162. And notice it's 225, and Elvis needs the 9. He was born on 1/8. You see how all the connections? Washington is 135. Washington State is 135 years old. So a lot of connections here. But this is the first number with a crown on it that equals 162 at the 94 mark. Okay? And why am I showing this? 94 with a crown, like the number 940. Okay, 940 with a crown. Why am I showing that? Because look, see, the 940th prime is 7411. That's Jesus, see? And 94 is my birthday. I told you that. 94 with a crown. That's why the 9495 is so important, folks. I'm trying to make you guys understand and see stuff. Okay? It has nothing to do with me. I'm just revealing the puzzle. You understand? You know, forget about the fact that my last name equals son of David. And everyone who knows my last name knows that. Even the trolls know that, if they just look it up. My last name equals son of David, and my first name equals king. Garo equals king in gematria. So basically, my name, which I've used my whole life, I never used like the whole name. Like, because my first name is actually Garabet, Garabet, but everyone says Garo. No one ever says Garbet. So Garo, right? So it's the Gar with a crown, and Gar equals 26, which equals the word God. So it's God with a crown, but it really is the word king. King equals exactly Garo, and then my last name is son of David. I mean, it equals son of David. Exact same. So you're telling me that it's just a coincidence. That's all I'm asking. It's just a coincidence that I'm revealing this, and every single piece of the puzzle with Elvis connects to the 9-4, 9-5, which is my birthday, because I was born on 9-4, but it was a leap year 9-5. Every single piece of the puzzle. Okay? And if you don't believe that it's a connection, watch this. Someone in the chat put what are the two numbers? What are the two numbers that are connected to the crown? What are the two numbers? Somebody in the chat put what are the two numbers that are connected to the crown? Oh, I'm sorry. I should have said besides the letter, the 15th letter of the alphabet. Obviously, the 15 is the crown, right? I meant the not obvious one. So the letter O. I should have. That's what I should have said. The letter O, and the number 3 or 0. Okay, because the 15th letter of the alphabet is the O. Yeah, I forgot. Sorry about that. Yeah, so that one definitely, obviously. But the reason I'm bringing that up, okay, is because look, let me just show you this. In between Elvis's death and my birth to Elvis's death, okay? Well, here, let me just show you from the exact day. Folks, you gotta watch this from the beginning, okay? Sorry about that. Any last words, folks? I'm just gonna show one thing and I'm out of here. Sorry, folks. I'm just waiting to see if you guys have anything to say, and I'm gonna delete the video. I mean, I'm gonna end this video. No, Elvis was actually, it's actually 33,028 days from Elvis's birth to 6/11. It's 33,028 days. And it's 90 years, 5 months, 4 days, which is the 945954 connection. I've shown that in the last video. But it's 33,028 days actually, which I've shown in another video. So from Elvis's birthday, January 8th to 6/11 is 33,028 days. But anyway, forget about that. So just real quick, check this out. Elvis is born on 108, right? On 108, 18, 108. Look at from his birthday to my birth. Notice the amount of, look at that. Look at the amount of days. 10833. I'm just saying, those are interesting numbers. You got to understand, you know what I mean? and the 15th number of the alphabet is the 0, right? The letter O is the 15th letter. 18 plus 15 equals 33. You know what I mean? It's very important, that 1833 connection. I'll show you how it connects. Why can't I focus on this thing? What's going on? It's not letting me focus my phone. What's going on? Wow. I think there's not enough light in here. But look at this. If you separate the numbers, 108 plus 33 equals 141. June 11th is the 141st day of the year. But look at this. I'll show you in a moment something that. But look at this. From my birthday to his death, look at that. It's exactly 4730. 4,730 days. You see this? It's the crowns. The 3 and the 0 is the crowns. I told you that. You know what I mean? The 3 is like the W, like Washington, and the O is a crown. You know, the O is the 15th letter. Anyway, 4730 days exactly. And Elvis has been dead for 47 years. Trump is the 47th president. And how does this connect? 4730. Guess what element the 47 is? It's silver. And how many pieces of silver did Judas sell out Jesus for? 30. Look at that, will you? What is going on here? And remember, I revealed that he was the Antichrist on my 55th birthday. What is going on here? So 47 is the silver element, which connects to Elvis. I'll tell you in a minute. 47, and then 30 pieces of silver. You see? And just so happens that the 30 is the crown numbers. You know, and I've shown the 30 what's connected to. You got to watch my videos, how important that. If you watch the live stream, you'll run into that video, how important it is. And I'm hoping that I mentioned that in that video, but I don't think I did. I might have mentioned 30 pieces of silver, but I didn't mention the connection with me, with the 47 thing. It's from Elvis's birthday to from Elvis's death to 611 is 17,467 days, I think. Yeah. From Elvis's death to 611 is 17,466 or 67 days if you add the day. Yeah, don't listen to AI. AI, they don't know nothing over there. You gotta, now you have to do a little bit more deep digging because they mess with the numbers to confuse everybody, you know. Speaking of the 1-8, check this out. Remember I told you that whatever connects to 611, like, okay, whatever number 611 is, it connects to the day before and to the day after. So if 611 is itself, it connects to 612 and it connects to 610. Do you get it? Because up to that day or a leap year, do you get it? When you're using the calculator, from the first of the year to 611, you can calculate it not including the day. And then when you use a leap year, you're going into the next day because it adds one day. So one day before, one day after, and one day on the day. So 611 connects to 610, 612. Okay, now why am I bringing that up? Because what is 610, 611, and 612? Look. I told you how many days were in between me and Elvis's birthday. 10833. You take out the 0, it's 1833. In 610 plus 611 plus 612 equals 1833. So 611 is the main component. It's squeezed in. You know, it's sandwiched by 611 is sandwiched by 610 and 612. And you know, George Bush Sr. was born on 612, you know. The one that, you know, this guy looked like an absolute devil, that George Bush Sr., you know. And he had a son. Do you see how mockery it is? The fathers, you get what I'm saying? And I believe, if you look it up, somebody can look this up for me. am I correct that George Bush, the name George Bush, those two whatever words names, equals Lord of Hell? I remember I found that back in 2017. Is that right? Lord of Hell? George Bush. Somebody look that up if that's correct. That I haven't, I mean, I remember that from years ago. I wonder if that's correct. Somebody look that up. Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat. I don't know what you guys are saying, but anyway, folks, I got to end the chat. Wait, what's current? There's a band called Current 93, and the same band member, some guy named Douglas Pierce, also started a band called Death in June. Wow. Yeah, and if you've seen my connection with that Goodbye June stuff, remember that? The album cover on that, if you've seen it. I forget the name of the band, but whatever. I think maybe that's the name of the band. I don't know. I have it written down. Yeah, so it equals the exact same. No, it not just one number. All the numbers equal the same. That's what I mean. When I say equals something, I mean every number equals the same. You know what I mean? So Lord of Hell equals the same exactly as George Bush. I guess I'm just just a lucky, And by the way, Bush equals the word June. And the next 9/11 is in June. It's on 6/11. So yeah, Bush equals the word June, exactly. So it's Lord of June. Instead of Lord of Hell, it's Lord of. Oh wow. That means yeah. So it could be Lord of June, yeah. Would be the same as George Bush, yeah. Or George June. Yeah, George June. That's what I meant to say. George June, get it? Because Washington's going to get struck in June. All right. Yeah, I haven't looked at that in years, too. I'm telling you, since 2017, I had it written down somewhere. Like when I started doing the numbers. In 2017, I found that. I was, because I was doing everything by hand, so those were such like crazy calculations because I never used a calculator. I was doing everything by hand, You ever seen that kid from the movie Knowing? He's just scratching stuff, that's what I was doing. Just like a crazy person, Yeah. The Bush, yeah. Yeah, did you guys hear about Trump and his some news source like Reuters or something? Did you hear about that? They showed Trump's phone, Reuters 9/11, Reuters. They keep saying Hooters.
Here are the
Trump upside down phone, Reuters. Look at this. Let's see if I can get that picture. Uh-oh. They're not showing it now. Why? What am I doing wrong now? Was I supposed to show Reuters 9/11 upside down Trump phone? Earlier I had it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Look at this. Watch this. The reason they were showing it and making it such a big deal is because Trump He has his own face on his phone, according to the screensaver. I can't even focus. I'm telling you, I'm about to lose. I don't know what's going on with my phone right now because there's no light in my apartment right now. Look, it's the upside down 9/11. This is how they took the photo, folks. And Trump has this picture on it. Look at that, 6/11, 9/11. You see what I'm saying? Upside down. Can you believe this? They took a picture of this upside down. How crazy is that? And you remember what I showed you guys a long time ago? I wonder if I have that picture anywhere. Uh-oh, the phone died. Forget it. You remember I told you that Trump holding his fingers upside, remember he used to do the 666 hand sign? The 666 hand sign is actually 611 or 9/11. Okay? Because when you're holding the fingers up, the first one is 6 and then you have two fingers also. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I don't want to show it. I don't want to do it. But you would have, see, this one is the 6, right? And then this one, I'm sorry. When you lift this finger with the circle, you get the 6. Then you have these two, which make the 1/1. 6, 1/1. Okay? Do you get what I'm saying? And then upside down, it would be 9/11 or 666, because that's what it's all about. The 611 connects to the 666. I've explained that to you guys. And with Satan, if you see my videos, you know that I discovered all that over the years. Yeah. And they just put that out. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they, were to. No, I don't think. It's possible that Biden, they might, have a funeral for him or something. I don't know. But I don't see that happening. There's just way too much going on right now for the Biden thing to happen. But I guess it could. But that's not what I'm thinking. June 11th is going to be the Washington State event. But that would be crazy if there was a second big event on that day. And nobody even mentions it. You know what I mean? All right, folks. God bless all of you. This is a 2-hour video, man. I'll talk to you guys. Oh, make sure you watch part 1 first. If you just came in, go watch part 1 from earlier today, and then come back and watch this. Okay? And I want to show one. Oh, I can't. My phone's dead. My phone died. It's all right. I'll show it again. Just watch my live streams. Anyone who's just getting in, watch all my live streams. Go to the live section of this channel. That's where I'm doing all my recent videos. I haven't done a pre-recorded video in over a year. So don't go to the video section. Go to the live section of this channel. Yeah, so we'll see what's going on, because Russia is, everything's ramping up right before. You think it's a coincidence that all this is ramping up right before June 11th? Come on, man. All right, any last... I'll stay on another 5 minutes. That's it. Yeah, God bless everyone in the chat. And hold on one second. Oh, yeah. The phone rang twice? Okay. Interesting. You mean when they showed when he picked up his phone? The whole house was shaking from that stupid car going by. Anyway, yeah, a lot of stuff going on, folks. Like I said, all we can do is pray that this event is not as big as I think it's going to be, because because it has to be a game changer, folks. So if it's a game changer, you understand that it's got to be something so spectacular that it's going to change the world. It's not something that, it's not like 9/11 changed the world, but it was just one little, it was, when I say it was just in that one building, but imagine if it's a whole city that gets taken out. You understand how crazy that is? I mean, I don't even want to imagine it. That's what I'm saying. It's a nightmare. That's why I'm freaking out that people are not going to, leave. That's why we have to pray that it's not going to be as bad as we think it's going to be. Because there's no way you're going to stop what's coming. It's the biblical beast out of the sea event. You can't stop biblical prophecy from happening. Okay? Oh yeah, Ivanka tweeted a few months ago saying that by June our world will be changed and upgrades are coming. Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. Yep, a lot of stuff happening, folks. Get ready. Have the whole armor of God on you, folks, because we're going to be in for a wild ride soon. Crazy, man. Yep. Yeah. Anyway, God bless all of you. Last minute, folks. What? What are you saying? You're friends? Oh, you're friends with a senator, and try telling my dad to text him about this to get on news live on Seattle local channel to warn people about this to get out. Now listen to me. If you can actually do that, I would be literally amazed if anyone were to listen to you, because I'm just telling you, they would never go on television. They wouldn't do it. I know they wouldn't do it. Yeah. Listen, even if you did, they would not warn anybody. They would think you're crazy because they have no spirituality. Those people, they know what's coming. Okay, they know what's coming. They're working in cahoots. All right, but that would be unbelievable if he did go on the air and say it. Anyway, folks, last minute. I'll talk to you guys, all right? I'll see you guys in 12 to 14 hours. I mean, in 12 to 15 hours from now. Closer to 15, actually. But I'll see you guys in 15 hours from now. End the video. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, watch all the live streams. End the video. Go to the live section of the channel. Jesus is God. End the video.